Coming up next on UK Student News Network live at 4. They are tired, they are hungry, but they have reached a milestone on their journey to the United States.
And over 30 million people already have voted in the midterm elections. We'll bring you up to date on the latest.
And Jamal Khashoggi's son sits down with CNN. Find out what they're saying.
And in sports, it was the talk of the town and the game everyone was looking forward to. But the Cats couldn't quite pull out the win. And a new announcement from Kentucky basketball this afternoon. UK Student News Network live at 4 starts now. Hello, I'm Morgan Lloyd. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Curtis Franklin. We begin tonight with how things are shaping up in the final hours before the polls open. As candidates make their last-minute pushes for votes, one political science expert says that the strategy candidates should be using to get voters isn't all that complicated. The equation is simple. An exciting candidate can get voters to the polls. And while that may sound easy, that saddles candidates with the ultimate political burden, getting voters to want to participate in elections.
It's best to assume that if people aren't voting, it's because they lack the internal motivation to be involved in the political system. That's the main determinant of whether you'll vote, is whether you want to vote.
Accessing that internal motivation is something political candidates like Tyler Murphy
to go out, spread the word,
hope to do on Election Day tomorrow, and for good reason. Research from MIT suggests that increasing voter turnout can change the outcome of an election, especially in tight races. Take the 2016 presidential election, for example. President Trump's ability to energize the Republican base
we have our military now on the border.
helped drive his voters to the polls. Research shows that energy can even have a snowball effect to where voters feel left out if they don't vote for a certain candidate. Making endorsements like this one,
he understands people. He will make sure that a job gets done.
All the more important for someone running for office. Now, the answer to how to actually excite those voters is a little bit more complicated and is something the polls struggle to answer. Unfortunately for the candidate, the only real way to find out is after Election Day.
Students are a major factor in this election. The Young Vote. Alex Brinkhorst has information on where students can go to vote. Alex?
I'm outside of the Newman Center here in Lexington, one of the many polling places and one of the closest to campus. Something you can do before Election Day if you live here in Lexington is to check your voting district. You can do that by going to www.vote.org. There you can find locations, maps, and hours of your polling place. And be sure to get out there and vote tomorrow. Alex Brinkhorst, UK Student News Network.
With control over the Senate hanging in the balance, President Trump gave his perspective on tomorrow's elections. He says he feels good about Republicans' chances.
I think we're going to do very well in the Senate. I think we're going to do well in the House. The difference is I can't campaign for all of those House members. There's so many of them. But I can go out and help senators, and I think I've made a big difference.
The United States congressional representative race in Kentucky looks close. According to a New York Times poll, 47% of Kentuckians will be voting for Andy Barr, while 46% say they are voting for Amy McGrath. 7% were undecided. The poll asked 506 people. In the last two presidential races, Kentucky voted Republican, but the district has shown to have Democratic roots, specifically here in Lexington. Twitter says it's cracking down on accounts that are discouraging people from voting this midterm election. The social media platform says it's already deleted thousands of those accounts that were posting messages discouraging people to vote. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee notified the company about the accounts. Twitter did not elaborate on how the posts were discouraging voting. The accounts are believed to be based in the U.S. Allegations are in the middle of the race for governor in Georgia. GOP nominee Brian Kemp is accusing the Democratic Party of attempting to hack the system he controls as Secretary of State. Democratic opponent Stacey Abrams denies the allegations, stating Kemp is using this to deflect attention away from an apparently severe new security flaw.
The migrant caravan is getting closer to the U.S. Its next stop is Mexico City. Thousands of migrants continue to walk together along the highways in Mexico, and as that caravan gets closer to the U.S., another migrant caravan is following in its footsteps. A much smaller group of migrants left from El Salvador today. The group is trying to escape violence and poverty in their home country. And as the caravans move closer to the U.S., President Trump has continued his threats against the movement. He said that he wants to send troops to the U.S.-Mexico border, a move that could cost up to $300 million.
Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says the nation is facing a war situation as the U.S. has reimposed sanctions. Rouhani says they are confronting a bullying enemy and they have to stand to win. The sanctions imposed in all economic benefits America had previously granted Iran.
According to a Turkish official, members of a team from Saudi Arabia helped to remove evidence of Jamal Khashoggi's slaying. The official believes two members of the team who were sent to help Turkish officials investigate came for the sole purpose of covering up the evidence. This information was the latest from Turkish officials aimed at ensuring the killing was not covered up. The official asked to remain anonymous as part of government rules. And more than a month after journalist Jamal Khashoggi was killed, two of his sons are speaking out for the first time in an exclusive interview with CNN's Nick Robertson.
All what we want right now is to bury him in Al-Baqiyah, in Medina, with the rest of his family.
Turkey says Khashoggi was strangled then dismembered inside that Saudi consulate last month. Saudi officials have admitted Khashoggi was killed but have not provided any further details.
The airplane that crashed right after taking off from Indonesia had airspeed problems on 4 previous flights. The same problem that saw the plane crash and kill 189 people. Information that was downloaded about the plane was consistent with erratic airspeed and altitude problems.
After the break, one company is taking strides in order to make sure your holiday shopping can be done early this year.
Find out what Amazon is doing to get more shoppers for the holiday season. Hundreds of community members have gathered to remember 3 Girl Scouts and a parent who were killed in a hit-and-run this weekend. The victims were struck Saturday morning in Wisconsin while picking up trash along a highway. The crowd gathered Sunday evening outside an elementary school where some of the girls were 4th graders. Several Girl Scouts sang songs in honor of the victims.
We're sad to share that the Chippewa Falls community lost 3 of our children and a mother yesterday when a truck left the highway and struck students and adults from a local Girl Scout troop while they were picking up trash along County Highway P.
What's stressing you out is making money for one restaurant.
And Amazon is offering some free shipping. Fawn Evans is live in the studio and has this and more in your consumer news. Fawn?
Looking to boost holiday sales and add new Prime members, Amazon is offering free shipping on all holiday orders starting on November 19th. The online retailer is waiving the minimum purchase requirement for free shipping starting today. If you are already a Prime member and get free shipping, you may be in luck. More than 3 million items will be eligible for same-day delivery during the holiday season. Applebee's is thanking stress eaters for dining at its establishment. The restaurant chain says U.S. sales have jumped nearly 8% in the 3rd quarter of this year, setting a 14-year record. Company president John Sawinski credits the jump to Applebee's focusing on comfort food and cheap alcoholic drinks. Sawinski says when customers are stressed, they tend to order alcohol with their food, causing sales to increase. Apple has planned to stop disclosing their sales for iPhones, Macs, and iPads. Last quarter, Apple sold about 47 million iPhones. There was 0 growth in sales from the previous quarter. Despite all of that, Apple's revenue continues to climb year after year. That is mainly due to the company's hike in prices. Uber has launched a new safety feature that gives authorities a way to find riders who are in trouble. Passengers who tap the emergency button give first responders access to their locations and also provide officials with details about the car and driver. Police say this helps them respond faster and more accurately. However, they can't track people who don't use the button. The button does have a privacy feature. When you tap it, your location is not tracked for the rest of your ride. Or every time you use it, Uber, it gets erased after 10 minutes. Curtis and Morgan, back to you.
Thank you, Fawn. Morgan is back with sports next.
Yeah, Curtis, the excitement for the Kentucky-Georgia game was contagious, but the outcome let a lot of Cats fans down. I'll have more after the break. Kentucky basketball today. Coach John Calipari tweeted earlier this afternoon that his son Brad will redshirt this season. Brad plans to go to graduate school. This decision gives him 2 more years of eligibility. Coach Calipari says his son will continue to practice and travel with the team. However, he will not play in any games this season. Kentucky withstood a fearless effort from Indiana University of Pennsylvania on Friday. The team won 86-64 at Rupp Arena. This closed out UK's exhibition season with a 6-0 record. Now the team is gearing up to face off Duke tomorrow night. The rivalry between UK and Duke has already started this season, but that's no surprise. The rivalry goes back to the 1978 National Championship game. The Cats and Blue Devils have competed consistently on the court and on the recruiting trail. Tomorrow night's game is part of the State Farm Champions Classic tournament in Indianapolis. Kentucky fell to number 6 Georgia on Saturday at Kroger Field. Georgia got on the board first using a 65-yard punt. The Bulldogs led 28-10 after 3 quarters, and then Georgia added a field goal early in the 4th quarter to lead 31-10. But Kentucky went on another scoring drive, covering 75 yards in just 7 plays, ending with a spectacular 31-yard touchdown by A.J. Rose. Both Benny Snell Jr. and Coach Mark Stoops say the team is ready to come back even stronger.
It's after the game and it's after, but I felt the game was in our hands, and I don't care what nobody's telling me.
Of course, our team, anytime you invest as much as we do into these games and put ourselves in that position, it's going to hurt. And, you know, it's what I told the team, and we invested a lot, and I understand that. And but we can't make this loss turn into 2. So we got to get back to work and regroup and be committed on Monday.
The Wildcats will take on the University of Tennessee Volunteers next Saturday at Neyland Stadium. The 12th-ranked Kentucky volleyball team cruised to a 3-0 win over Ole Miss yesterday. This win marks the 15th win in a row for the Wildcats. This sets a new record for the most consecutive wins under head coach Greg Skinner. Kentucky will return home next weekend, where they will take on Mississippi State. The Kentucky men's soccer team started off their game on Friday like a dream. The Wildcats made their first goal of the game in just 36 seconds. The team went on to clinch the Conference USA men's soccer regular season championship with a score of 3-0 against Old Dominion.
Well, Morgan, it was fun as it lasted, Kentucky almost winning the SEC championship. When we come back, Taylor Savage joins us with weather. Welcome back to the UK Student News Network. So, Taylor, you said rainy and cloudy. It's classic Kentucky weather. It was warm this past week.
Wow,
I don't know what to wear most days.
I say your rain boots are your best bet. 547.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. It's going to take some time to get used to that 5:30 sunset.
Definitely.
Thank you. When we come back, a hero can come in many shapes and forms, even a Waffle House patron. Find out about a little boy who dressed as his favorite hero after the break. Welcome back to the UK Student News Network. A 5th grader, Tair Thomas, dressed as his hero on Halloween, then got to meet him. Waffle House hero James Shaw Jr. is happy he's able to inspire and influence others.
Speaking of heroes, brother David Morales and Zachary Morales rescued a woman 6 days after her car fell off a highway. She was found curled up along the riverbed. Her car was found in a tree 50 feet below.
I'm going to introduce you to the Waffle House superhero. His name is James Shaw Jr.
It's a great way to get out of math class, meeting your real-life superhero.
Tair, a good classmate of y'all. Don't y'all love Tair?
Tair Thomas got a nice treat on Halloween, a surprise visit from his hero, James Shaw Jr.
I thought I was dreaming, but it wasn't a dream.
And you look like me. What's going on? Can I get a hug, man?
Tyre's school and family planned the surprise after he dressed up like Shaw for Superhero Day.
So he's been super excited about meeting him.
I'm gonna give you this. It's specially made for you, Tyre.
And the superhero came bearing gifts, swapping the usual hero's cape for a matching shirt.
It blows my mind for sure. It makes me feel like, what I did was right.
Shaw became known as the Waffle House hero 6 months ago when he tackled a shooter who killed 4 people in the Antioch restaurant. Little Tyre said picking Shaw was an easy choice.
I didn't want to be a fictional hero. I didn't want to be a cartoon hero. I wanted to be somebody real that actually did something.
Now the two are forever bonded by inspiration, hope, and matching superhero shirts.
He really didn't have to put his life in danger to save those people, but he did anyway.
I hope that I can keep inspiring people because he inspires me to inspire more people. So much love to the young king.
Anyone can be a hero. That's a pretty uplifting example of people trying to inspire others. I don't know about you guys, but seeing kids dressed as something other than Superman and Spider-Man, that's a real life hero.
Yeah, definitely. I was Wonder Woman for Halloween, so it's definitely creative, outside of the box idea.
Absolutely.
Really great.
All right, I think that's all we have for you. Thank you for watching. I'm Curtis Franklin.
I'm Morgan Lloyd.
I'm Taylor Savage.
Have a great night.